In a surprising and strategic move, the United States Air Force, USAF, deployed its formidable B-52H Stratofortress, affectionately known as the Buff, Big Ugly Fat Fellow, into the Red Sea at full power. Renowned as the most combat-capable bomber in the U.S. inventory, the B-52H Stratofortress holds a legacy as a long-range, heavy bomber. What does this move mean for Iran? Before we get into it, do consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot. On October 19, 2023, when the Iran-backed Houthi movement in Yemen initiated a military standoff by launching a barrage of missiles and armed drones at Israel, it marked the beginning of the ongoing Red Sea crisis, also known as the United States-Iran proxy war. Since 2014, the Houthi militants have controlled significant coastal territory along the Red Sea within Yemen, using it as a base for hostile actions against civilian-operated cargo ships sailing near the Yemeni coast. Despite claiming Israel-linked vessels as targets, numerous ships with no apparent ties to Israel have also been attacked in these incidents, escalating tensions in the region. The Houthi militant activities in the Red Sea have prompted a military response from various countries. The United States, in particular, established Operation Prosperity Guardian to safeguard the Red Sea shipping route. As part of this operation, the U.S. has conducted airstrikes on Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen and targeted Houthi vessels in the Red Sea. Since January 12th, the United States and the United Kingdom have spearheaded a coalition effort to launch missile strikes against the Houthis. Additionally, several other nations have initiated independent patrols in the waters near Yemen in response to the escalating tensions in the region. Amid escalating tensions with Iran, the U.S. military conducted a show of force by flying a B-52 bomber over the Persian Gulf. The U.S. launched several airstrikes on Iran and Syria on 2 and 3 February against Houthi rebels after a drone strike killed 3 American service members in Jordan. The escalation of tensions was evident when a small outpost in northeastern Jordan known as Tower 22 was attacked, resulting in injuries to several U.S. personnel. President Joe Biden responded by authorizing counterstrikes, which commenced shortly after he attended a ceremony honoring the fallen soldiers at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. Defense Secretary Lloyd J. Austin III confirmed that the initial round of strikes targeted 85 locations across 7 facilities, with a focus on disrupting the activities of militia groups and their sponsors who posed a threat to U.S. and coalition forces. The strikes, carried out by fighter aircraft from U.S. Central Command and B-1 bombers, utilized over 125 precision-guided munitions. Despite the intensity of the operation, all U.S. aircraft, including the B-52 bomber, returned safely, and the strikes were deemed successful. What is so special about the B-52 bomber? The Boeing B-52 serves as the linchpin of the United States' nuclear and conventional global strike capability, earning its status as the most formidable bomber in the U.S. arsenal. Renowned for its exceptional mission-capable rate, expansive payload capacity, extensive range, enduring presence, and proficiency in deploying both nuclear and precision conventional standoff weapons, the B-52 remains an indispensable asset in safeguarding the U.S. national security strategy. Amid the tension of the Cold War, the development of the B-52 bomber was propelled by the urgent need to counter the formidable Soviet threat. With the specter of nuclear conflict looming, America sought a strategic bomber capable of reaching distant Soviet targets, penetrating their formidable air defenses and delivering a devastating payload. This imperative was underscored by the emergence of the military doctrine known as mutually assured destruction, which emphasized the need for a credible nuclear deterrent. Intriguingly, the early design concepts for the B-52 bore a striking resemblance to the Soviet Union's Tupolev Tu-95 Bear, highlighting the strategic parallels between the two superpowers. Boeing, the aerospace manufacturer entrusted with developing the B-52, envisioned a bomber equipped with swept wings and powered by 4 robust turboprop engines. This design choice reflected prevailing perceptions regarding the fuel efficiency of turboprops compared to jet engines during the late 1940s. Despite the existence of jet engine technology for over a decade prior to Boeing's initial proposal in 1948, concerns persisted regarding their fuel consumption, particularly for long-range high-altitude missions essential for strategic bombing campaigns. As such, the decision to employ turboprop engines in the early iterations of the B-52 design was a pragmatic response to the prevailing technological and operational considerations of the time. Boeing's proposal for the B-52 encountered a pivotal moment when it landed in the hands of Colonel Pete Worden, a 32-year-old advocate of turbojet technology. Worden, an MIT-educated engineer and Army officer, recognized the potential of the Pratt & Whitney J57 turbojet engine, renowned for its efficiency compared to contemporary jet engines. Armed with this insight, Worden became a proponent for embracing turbojet propulsion in the B-52's design. To bring their vision to life, 6 of Boeing's aeronautical designers embarked on an intensive design session in a hotel suite in Dayton, Ohio. Led by Wells, the team meticulously crafted a comprehensive 33-page proposal outlining the specifications and features of the proposed B-52 bomber. Meanwhile, Scherer delved into solo efforts, utilizing materials sourced from a local hobby store to create hand sketches and even a scale model of the envisioned aircraft. The culmination of their collaborative efforts was presented to Worden, an innovative design for an 8-engine jet bomber that retained the iconic B-52 designation. With hand-drawn sketches and a meticulously crafted balsa wood model in hand, the team successfully captured Worden's approval, propelling the B-52 project closer to production and cementing its place in aviation history. The inaugural flight of the B-52 Stratofortress took place a mere 4 years later on April 15, 1952, coinciding with the Soviet Union's development of its first atomic weapon. Despite this rapid progress, it would be 3 additional years before the nearly 160-foot-long B-52 officially entered service, marking a significant milestone in the United States' strategic bombing capabilities. Today, the B-52 stands as a testament to engineering prowess, boasting 8 potent Pratt & Whitney turbofan jet engines, the most of any active service jet aircraft. This formidable configuration enables the iconic Buff, Big Ugly Fat Fellow, to traverse an astonishing 8,800 miles without the need for refueling while carrying an impressive payload of 70,000 pounds of ordnance. Beyond its nuclear role, the B-52's versatility shines through in precision bombing and close air support missions, facilitated by its extensive weapons magazine and upgraded flight systems. Recent enhancements have further bolstered the B-52's capabilities, with internal weapons bays now accommodating advanced munitions such as Joint Direct Attack Munitions and Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missiles. Coupled with external pylons, the aircraft boasts a diverse array of armament options. Notably, these upgrades have resulted in a remarkable 66% increase in payload capacity, ensuring the B-52 remains a formidable force well into the future. Looking ahead, the Pentagon has entrusted Northrop Grumman with the development of America's next-generation long-range bomber, the B-21 Raider. Anticipated to enter service in the mid-2020s, this stealthy successor draws inspiration from the pioneering design of its predecessor, the B-2 Spirit, heralding a new era in strategic aviation capabilities. As America's sole supersonic heavy payload bomber, the B-1B Lancer is poised to make way for the forthcoming B-21, while the venerable Boeing B-52 Stratofortress stands conspicuously absent from the Air Force's retirement roster. In a remarkable testament to its enduring legacy, 2 retired B-52s have been resurrected for service, once in 2015 and again last May. With continued upgrades, the Air Force foresees its fleet of 76 B-52Hs remaining operational until at least 2050, with select aircraft projected to soldier on into the early 2060s. To sustain its combat prowess as it approaches the century mark, the B-52 is undergoing a transformative evolution, with enhancements ranging from new cockpit displays to cutting-edge active electronically scanned array, AESA, radar, and secure data links. In the imminent future, the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress is slated to carry some of America's most sophisticated weaponry, including the inaugural deployment of hypersonic missiles. These next-generation munitions, capable of achieving sustained speeds exceeding Mach 5, pose a formidable challenge to even the most advanced air defense systems. Of the Stratosaurus by some, the B-52 may lack the sleek stealth capabilities of its counterparts, yet its reliability, expansive payload capacity, and operational flexibility have cemented its enduring relevance. While stealth platforms like the B-21 and F-35 Joint Strike Fighter carve a path forward, It is the venerable B-52 that remains poised to deliver decisive firepower once the dust settles. Do you think there is a competitor for B-52 on today's date? Let us know in the comments. U.S. warships in the Red Sea have been battling a growing number of weapons fired by Houthi forces in Yemen over the past several weeks, including 17 drones and missiles. The Iran-backed Houthis have launched at least 100 attacks against 14 different commercial and merchant vessels in the Red Sea over the past month. But now, Iran is shocked. And you know why? The U.S. military hardware is combating Houthi attacks on maritime shipping, and they have deployed U.S. C-5 aircraft to the Red Sea with full power. Do you know how efficient this massive military machine is? Stick on as we are going to show you the largest military transport aircraft, Lockheed C-5 Galaxy. So before we dive into the video, hit subscribe for a front row so that you won't miss out on our interesting contents and be a part of our community. The Lockheed C-5 Galaxy is a large military transport aircraft designed and built by Lockheed and now maintained and upgraded by its successor, Lockheed Martin. It provides the United States Air Force USAF with a heavy intercontinental range strategic airlift capability, one that can carry outsized and oversized loads, including all air certifiable cargo. The Galaxy has many similarities to the smaller Lockheed C-141 Starlifter and the later Boeing C-17 Globemaster III. The C-5 is among the largest military aircraft in the world. The C-5 Galaxy's development was complicated, including significant cost overruns, and Lockheed suffered significant financial difficulties. Shortly after entering service, cracks in the wings of many aircraft were discovered, and the C-5 fleet was restricted in capability until corrective work was completed. The C-5M Super Galaxy is an upgraded version with new engines and modernized avionics designed to extend its service life to 2040 and beyond. In 1961, several aircraft companies began studying heavy jet transport designs that would replace the Douglas C-133 Cargomaster and complement Lockheed C-141 Starlifters. In addition to higher overall performance, the United States Army wanted a transport aircraft with a larger cargo bay than the C-141, whose interior was too small to carry a variety of their outsized equipment. These studies led to the CX-4 design concept. But in 1962, the proposed six-engine design was rejected because it was not viewed as a significant advance over the C-141. The criteria were finalized, and an official request for proposal was issued in April 1964 for the Heavy Logistics System CX-HLS, previously known as CX-X. In May 1964, proposals for aircraft were received from Boeing, Douglas, General Dynamics, Lockheed, and Martin Marietta. General Electric, Curtiss-Wright, and Pratt & Whitney submitted proposals for the engines. After a down-select, Boeing, Douglas, and Lockheed were given one-year study contracts for the airframe, along with General Electric and Pratt & Whitney for the engines. All three of the designs shared a number of features. The cockpit was placed well above the cargo area to allow for cargo loading through a nose door. The Boeing and Douglas designs used a pod on the top of the fuselage containing the cockpit, while the Lockheed design extended the cockpit profile down the length of the fuselage, giving it an egg-shaped cross-section. All of the designs had swept wings, as well as front and rear cargo doors, allowing simultaneous loading and unloading. Lockheed's design featured a T-tail, while the designs by Boeing and Douglas had conventional tails. The C-5 is now a large high-wing cargo aircraft with a distinctive high T-tail, fin vertical stabilizer, with 4 TF-39 turbofan engines mounted on pylons beneath wings that are swept 25 degrees. Similar in layout to its smaller predecessor, the C-141 Starlifter, the C-5 has 12 internal wing tanks and is equipped for aerial refueling. Above the plane-length cargo deck is an upper deck for flight operations and for seating 80 passengers in rear-facing seats, unlike most commercial airplanes, and the embarked loadmaster crew in forward-facing seats. Bay doors at both nose and tail open to enable drive-through loading and unloading of cargo. The cargo hold of the C-5 is 1 foot around 30 cm longer than the entire length of the first powered flight by the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. For its voracious consumption of fuel and its maintenance and reliability issues, the Galaxy's air crews have nicknamed it FRED, for fucking ridiculous economic or environmental disaster. JCB HME backhoe loader stowed inside a C-5. The C-5 Loadmasters ensure cargo is secured and balanced before takeoff. Takeoff and landing distance requirements for the plane at maximum load gross weight are 8,300 feet around 2,500 meters and 4,900 feet around 2,500 meters, respectively. Its high flotation main landing gear provides 28 wheels to distribute gross weight on paved or earth surfaces. The rear main landing gear can be made to caster to make a smaller turning radius and rotates 90 degrees after takeoff before being retracted. Kenealing landing gear permits lowering the aircraft when parked, thereby presenting the cargo deck at truck bed height to facilitate loading and unloading operations. The C-5 features a malfunction detection analysis and recording system to identify errors throughout the aircraft. The cargo compartment is 121 feet around 37 meters long, 13.5 feet around 4.1 meters high, and 19 feet around 5.8 meter wide, or just over 31,000 cubic feet, that is 880 meter cubes. It can accommodate up to 36 463 kilogram master pallets, or a mix of palletized cargo and vehicles. The nose and aft cargo bay doors open the full width and height of the cargo bay to maximize efficient loading of oversized equipment. Full-width ramps enable loading double rows of vehicles from either end of the cargo hold. The USF has operated the C-5 since 1969. In that time, the airlifter supported U.S. military operations in all major conflicts, including Vietnam, Iraq, Yugoslavia, and Afghanistan, as well as Allied support, such as Israel during the Yom Kippur War and operations in the Gulf War. The Galaxy has also distributed humanitarian aid, provided disaster relief, and supported the U.S. space program. The Air Force considered Boeing's design to be better than that of Lockheed, but Lockheed's proposal was the lowest total cost bid. Lockheed was selected as the winner in September 1965, then awarded a contract in December 1965. General Electric's TF-39 engine was selected in August 1965 to power the new transport plane. At the time, GE's engine concept was revolutionary, as all engines before had a bypass ratio less than 2-to-1, while the TF-39 promised and would achieve a ratio of 8-to-1, which had the benefits of increased engine thrust and lower fuel consumption. Boeing lost the military contract, but went on to develop the successful 747 civilian airliner, with over 1,500 aircraft built when manufacturing ended in 2022 after 54 years of production. In conclusion, the C-5 Galaxy is capable of moving nearly every type of military combat equipment, including such bulky items as the Army Armored Vehicle Launched Bridge at 74 short tons from the United States to any location on the globe, and of accommodating up to 6 Boeing AH-64 Apache helicopters or 5 Bradley fighting vehicles at one time. And now you know there is no wonder why Iran was shocked by this beast. This military ship can literally take off every drone and warships deployed by Iran to the Red Sea. So, what are your thoughts about the efficiency of this largest military ship? Let us know in the comment section below. And that wraps up today's content. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also make sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so that you won't miss out on our future contents.